Hey kids, we're a couple annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
Recipes for the oven in my mind. 3x5 cards with the recipes of my mother's pies. Apple cobbler, peach by key lime and meringue. Pies made for me by my mother, while my father would harangue. Can it be that it was all so tasty then? Was her rhubarb so sublime? If we had the chance to bake it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Love you.
That's right, we're the podcast that explores the animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones when they're available. Why do we do it like this? Well, there's plenty of other podcasts to explore the quote-unquote golden age of The Simpsons, that being seasons 1 through 10. Plus, there's an entity known as the Wheel of Random who has trapped us and forced us to watch the show in such a manner. I say we because I am one annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is the other annoyed grunt boy,
Craig.
Hello, Craig. How are we doing this week?
We're doing good.
Oh, this is frightening. Oh, what's going on?
What are you talking about?
I feel a scary aura.
Oh, oops. I put on some weird, AI voice. Let me change it.
Okay.
Is that better?
I mean, you now sound like a robot in a tunnel.
Okay, I just downloaded this program, so I don't know how to turn this off. Let's see what this does here.
Okay.
Get back to normal. I'm sorry, listener. This should probably be better.
It kind of sounds now like you're, like, in cyberspace.
I mean, we are talking on the internet, so that probably makes sense, right?
See, I'm not hearing anything. I just hear your voice, and I hear my voice as normal. I'll just change it. I think this should work. This should be better. I think we should be back to normal. Are we back to normal?
You're closer, but it's still a little off, I think. It's still a little weird.
This should do it then. I keep trying to turn it off and turn back on it. I think we're good here. We good?
Uh,
Do you need me to say anything funny, like erection overlords?
yeah, say Boner Town.
Boner Town! Welcome to Boner Town, starring Steve. Steve is the greatest boner in town.
Okay, there you go. You got it. No, you got it. You wait, stop. Don't do anything else. You're perfect.
Okay, annoyed grunt boy Craig. How we doing this week, Steve?
Doing great, Craig. I'm really excited to get into this episode, just talk to this week. So since we got all of our technical stuff figured out, maybe we should just go straight ahead and talk about where we're at this year in April 29th, 2018.
Oh, okay. I just got my first pube, I think. That's when I got my...
That sounds about right. 2018 is when? Yeah.
I mean, you think I'd have hair all over my body?
Mm-hmm.
Because my brothers do.
Right.
Yeah, I heard this voice, dude. I'm taking this off. This isn't me. And fuck Simon and Alvin.
I'm back to normal. Okay, it's over.
Okay, fine. I do appreciate the fact that you think of yourself as a Theodore.
He was the portly one who liked to bake food, right?
He was a nice one, yes. Yeah, and he did like to bake.
Yeah, he seemed pretty cool. He always reminded me of the Martin, Prince of the Chipmunks.
Oh, yeah.
All right, see, I'm sorry for playing with that. I downloaded this stupid AI voice mod for the Discord here. It's a lot of fun to play with, so I had to turn it off because the whole podcast would be me just goofing off. And that's usually what the time I'm doing is goofing off.
Yeah, but I appreciate your sense of professionalism when it does decide to appear every now and then.
Yeah, so should we just be serious then?
Let's be Yahoo serious. A young Einstein, if you will.
Ooh, can we review that movie for a Patreon?
Sadly no, because that came out in probably 1989, 88, 87.
So maybe during the Tracy Ullman shorts?
Yeah, so maybe if we do an episode about those, which we could on the Patreon.
Oh, yeah, let's put that on the list.
Yeah, so if you want to hear maybe that, but other great things, go to patreon.com/Annoyed Drunk Boys and check it out. We got plenty of episodes. But for now, let's go to the past, all the way back to April 29th, 2018. Craig, what was the number one movie in the box office?
Well, we like to review the movie of that week on our Friday episode drop.
Of course.
Last week, we opted not to because I believe it was a Marvel movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thor 2. And you haven't seen Thor 1. And I know we did Iron Man 3, but you were already marveled out by Iron Man 3. So we ended up reviewing an episode of Saved by the Bell, and that was a lot of fun. So this week, are we going back to the movies? Steve, no, because you do not deserve to watch this movie until you've seen most of them. That's right. It's Avengers Infinity War. Like, you need to watch phase 1s and 2s and 3s before you can go to Infinity War. I'm not going to allow you to watch this until we get to most of those Marvel movies. I'm sorry.
I feel so depraved, so declined, so denied.
There's a lot of emotional impact of those films for someone like me. You know, I'm not saying I grew up with those movies. I saw them when they came out, and, you know, I had some emotional resonance. And I think you need to at least experience the Thors and the Captain Americas and the, you know, especially if you've seen, you got to watch Civil War. You got to watch Little Captain America, Winter Soldier. You know, you just got to have these for me, all right? I'm not going to make you watch season 13, episode 6 of Degrassi, The Next Generation, because you got to start all the way over. You need to see how Jimmy from Degrassi gets in a wheelchair. Why am I bringing that up?
I don't know, but let me ask you, does any of these adventure movies have Howard the Duck? Because he's one of my favorite ducks, and he's a male, and as you may know, a male duck is called a drake.
Okay, I was wondering what... You mean Aubrey Graham, Jimmy from Degrassi.
Yes, he's not good for a lot of things, but he's nice for, what? Craig, what was the number one song on the Billboard Hot 100?
Nice for What by the aforementioned Drake. I think his career's kind of not put together anymore because there's some allegations about him.
Yeah, and I think the post-Super Bowl thing has really left him without a
group of friends, guitars and drums. Yeah,
yeah, it's really ugly the way his instruments left him. But before he was fixed, you know. So, Craig, what was the number one song on the rock and alternative Hot 100?
Broken by Lovely the Band.
Okay, I guess that was the way it should be. In all the states, from New York to L.A. to Mississippi to Missouri to... that's the way it was meant to be. Which brings us to our Country Hot 100, Meant to Be by Baby Rexha. Don't know how to do that one. Featuring Florida Georgia Line.
Do 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 do. So no one told you that it's gonna be this way. I'm going camping and making s'mores with a Canadian person. I don't know why I'm singing that, Steve. What was the number one hot dance electric song?
Why, it's Friends by Marshmello and Anne-Marie.
All right.
Well done. Let's just get into it. This week we're talking about Forgive and Regret, in which Grampa makes a confession to Homer while on his deathbed. He tells Homer that after Mona left him, he threw away his recipes that she left to Homer. So after Grandpa doesn't die, he comes to realize that this issue will not be easy to reconcile. All right. Well, let's give it a watch, and we'll be right back.
If I could save hate in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to hate every day till eternity passes away, then end with a giant screw you. But there never seems to be enough time to hate the things you want to hate once you hate them.
We're back. Today we're talking about Forgive and Regret, the 18th episode of the 29th season. It is episode 636 in the show's run. It originally aired on April 29th, 2018. Your nerd code is XABF09. It was written by Bill Odenkirk, directed by Rob Oliver, and your showrunner is Al Jean.
All right, Bill Odenkirk. His real legal name, Steve, is William Leonard Odenkirk.
Ooh.
You know, if you just drop in a DeForest after the Leonard, you get the 3 stars of Star Trek. Even funny because his last name is Kirk. But, his parents didn't know about Star Trek because he was born a whole year before Star Trek ever aired.
So prescient, though, of them.
Yeah. In fact, we're actually recording this on Star Trek's 59th birthday. Fucking boomer. He was born in Naperville, Illinois, and he had a dad named Walter Henry Odenkirk, same last name, and his mother was Barbara Mary, also the last name Odenkirk, but they weren't related. She had a maiden name.
Good for her.
And of course, he's the younger brother of everyone's favorite nobody, Bob Odenkirk. He also worked as a writer, producer, and actor on HBO sketch comedy series called Mr. Show with Bob and Dave, which also co-starred his brother, Bob Odenkirk. He also went on to write for Tenacious D, Futurama, Disenchantment, and he's the executive producer and writer for Simpsons episodes. He also holds a PhD, which means personal hot dick, in inorganic chemistry from the University of Chicago. Chicago, the city that America's fighting, right, in the Great War.
Chicago v. America. Whoever wins, we lose.
And so Odenkirk has written 15 episodes, and this is only the 6th we've reviewed. But we can review them all, Steve.
That's true.
Right, we've got Treehouse of 4, 15 to look forward to. Also, Crook and Ladder, $1 Million Maybe, Pulpit Fiction, Super Franchise Me, To Courier with Love, The Last Traction Hero, Grampy, Can You Hear Me, The Fat Blue Line. So, looking forward to those, Steve. But what have we reviewed of his?
Well, Craig, we've got, so far, the 7 Beer Snitch, which we reviewed way back in 2019. We have The Mook, The Chef, The Wife, and Her Homer, which we talked about in February of 2020, right before the pandemic. Double Boy in Trouble, our 181st episode. Love is a Many Strangled Thing. And Adventures in Baby Getting, which we talked about also in 2020, right before the pandemic. And so here we are at his second to last episode thus far, which is Forgive and Regret.
Wow, we haven't reviewed him since 2022. The last one was the Double Boy in Trouble. Okay. Billy, Odenkirky.
Indeed. One of my top 3 Odenkirks.
I'm going to assume Bob.
Yeah, he's all right.
Jethro.
Ah, yes.
Walter Henry.
Walter, another great Star Trek name.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Let me think here. Okay, so William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy. Okay, and then Walter Koenig, Henry. Has there been a Henry actor on Star Trek?
That was Worf's first name in the first draft. Yeah.
Yeah, Henry Worf. Bob is long for Robert, and Robert Duncan McNeil was Tom Paris on Star Trek Voyager. So there's a Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Henry Kissinger. He was, I think he was Sulu.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's why we hate Henry Kissinger, right? Because he was playing off as a Japanese man.
Yeah, I think so. And also, you got to be confused because before you were talking about how it's Star Trek Day, and you're like, okay, boomer. But that's Battlestar Galactica. Wrong show.
Yeah, but you don't know which boomer I'm talking about. Am I talking about the 70s Battlestar or the early 2000s reboot?
I know you're talking about Grace Park.
But, really, Steve, football's back. Maybe I'm talking about Boomer...
Boomer Esiason of the Cincinnati Bengals?
I love the Cincinnati bagels.
Yeah.
Is Cincinnati bagel when they just put a bunch of spaghetti noodles and chili on it?
Yeah, it's gross. It's awful.
With 20 pounds of shredded cheese, yeah.
I mean, it's awful, but it's also kind of tasty.
Yeah. All right, Steve, well, let's just get on to this week's episode. The bill. Hey, if Bob Odenkirk is Bob Nobody Odenkirk, I'm going to say Bill Somebody Odenkirk.
I like it. You're a somebody, Bill, and your episode begins with we'll call it an opening gag, because there's not really a couch in there, but it's a very important gag because in a Western town, Matt Dillon, no, not that one, hovers his hand over his holster saying, "Can't let you do it. Can't let you break my record." And he's about to draw, but his opponent, Maggie Simpson, in a black cowboy hat, shoots first, like Han or Greedo or whatever the internet says is right, killing him. And this, of course, is a reference to the Simpsons 636th episode, which broke the record of Gunsmoke, which had 635 episodes, running from 1955 to 1975.
What a time to be alive. Are you glad you didn't live through the Gunsmoke era?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I don't know that I've ever actually seen an entire episode of Gunsmoke, despite it being my dad's, favorite new show.
You say dad. like America's, like, yeah, everyone's dad at that time.
Right, exactly.
I'm proud to announce that this week, our exclusive Patreon podcast, our Friday episode, that we are actually going to review all 635 episodes of Gunsmoke. So
I like it. Yeah.
we'll try to condense it to about 20 minutes, but yeah.
I mean, that's
So, I forgot to tell you. So get to work.
okay.
watching those
I'll start
episodes.
watching those. We'll do about like 3 seconds per episode. It'll be great. There's a cowboy in that one. Cowboy in that one. Oh, there's a horse.
I too remember when Matt Dillon was hovering his hand over his holster area, but that was in Wild Things, I believe. Well, Steve, our episode begins, as it always does, at Most Tavern, and inside Lenny, Carl, and Barney are counting as they stuff pickled eggs in Homer's mouth. If he could hold down 30 eggs, he'll win 50 picks. Coincidentally, last week's featured guest star Paul Newman, who ate 50 hard-boiled eggs in Cool Hand Luke, which was also the working title of Empire Strikes Back.
Cool hand, Luke.
Yeah, I get it. That's a cold read for me because I didn't read the joke yet. I'm not going to redo it. I'm going to say I came up with that off the top of my head. Homer vows that if he's successful, he'll take everyone out for omelets. Now, I know the joke is gross because he's eating pickled eggs, but honestly, I'd rather eat an omelet after eating pickled eggs. I mean, they're two different flavors of eggs.
Yeah, and I think that like I could probably eat a 20-egg omelet before I could eat like 3 pickled eggs, if I'm being honest.
Have you ever just, maybe when you're single, it doesn't even mean if you're single, let's say you're home alone and like maybe you have to fend for yourself and having food or with your partner, and you just see like a dozen eggs. You're like, I could, but should I?
I don't think I have because I have a weird condition that I call the egg ick, which
Okay.
I like eggs, and then halfway through eating them, I hate them. They're the grossest thing in the world to me. And it goes through waves where like eggs are fine, and then they just gross me out, and I don't know why. I understand that what they are, and it's fine logically, but every now and then they just gross me out.
I could eat I literally could eat a dozen scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong. Like when I make fried rice,
Oh yeah.
it's always like put one egg in there. I might double or sometimes triple that egg because I like a lot of egg in my fried rice.
I will say that when a recipe calls for eggs, it's kind of like garlic with me, where it's just merely a suggestion where like a clove of garlic, that's 4 cloves. Like an egg, that's like 3 eggs. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a pickled egg though.
I mean,
Trying to think.
I don't know that I have. It just doesn't sound appealing to me, but I could see I could understand why one would like it.
Well, yeah, it's not appealing to you because you got to do the peeling to pickle it. Yeah, I think it's mostly because of The Simpsons. The reason why I never tried a pickled egg because it's presented as gross.
Yeah, and I always imagine that one black one that makes decisions. It's in the bottom of the jar.
What's that? I think it's in China, that 1,000-year-old egg or 100-year-old egg.
yeah.
That's the black egg, right?
Right, yeah.
But it's not actually 100 years old. It's like 93.
Still has retirement plans, so it's still old.
Always lying on her Tinder.
Always holding up a fish egg.
All right, enough about eggs.
All right, well, after the last egg is swallowed, Homer triumphantly sits up, declaring himself to be the champion of that very bad idea. But his victory is short-lived, as his stomach rumbles and he begins to spit the eggs out one by one. The bar patron is ducked for cover, but Moe diligently catches the eggs back into their original jar.
Lenny is concerned that Moe is going to serve the very same eggs again, but Moe, he's got another purpose for them. So he dumps them onto the pool table, racks them up, and breaks the shot, knocking each egg into the pocket with nary a crack. Well, they're hard. They're. I think they're already uncracked, right?
I mean, probably, but still, they're whole eggs. They're pretty good with breaking it. So yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's hard boiled, it's not going to crack.
It's true, but like even the eggs are staying in one piece, is what I'm saying.
All right. Well, I need to review these scripts before I read them out loud. Anyways, the eggs then move through the tube and are dumped into a jar marked "Eaten Eggs," which is placed on the bar, ready to be consumed by another drunk sucker. I'm going to assume that's going to be Homer again and the next day.
I would assume so, yeah. Well, Homer hops into his car, thinking about how if he'd kept those eggs down, he'd be $50 richer. And distracted by his anger, Homer unknowingly backs into a lamppost. And shrouded in darkness, Homer is frustrated, but luckily for him, someone appears in the shadows to help him out. A man whose head is kind of shaped like a light bulb chuckles, informing Homer that light pole happens to be Mayor Quimby's favorite. So he tells Homer that he'll take the car off of his hands for $500 and everything will be fixed. And the following morning, Homer shares the news with his family.
My Marge.
When you start a sentence with Marge, it's really bad.
Marge. I sold our car.
What are you gonna drive?
Your car.
Well, then I guess I'll be riding the bus.
That's right, like rock stars and Rosa Parks. Now just wait till you see what's become of our car. Feast your eyes on this.
Four-legged angel who will speak for you. Raised in the rain with no bone to chew. Well, maybe someone will love you.
Why are you showing me this? I don't get it.
And I'm crying.
Lousy wrong channel.
The Legends of Demolition Derby are coming to Springfield. So shut up and get your ass over. Here. Proceeds go to stuttering.
Rockstars and Rosa Parks was the name of our ska band in high school.
It's true, yeah.
I love before the clip was played, but when he was in the alley with the man, when he said that was the mayor's favorite lamppost, like Homer like shudders, and if that's a thing.
Not Joe's favorite.
I think McCheese has a favorite lamppost.
Ooh, that's probably yeah, I'm sure he does. It's probably the heating lamp that keeps the fries warm.
Yeah, I miss kids McDonald's. You know, I think every other podcast has talked about how it's too corporate now, but not enough about me.
It's slowly making a comeback. They're going to reintroduce Ronald soon, and the Fry Guys are back, and it's going back to Kidland.
All right, thank God.
Yeah,
we need more kids on this land.
Exactly. Of course, the thing that Lisa got emotional about the sad dogs is, of course, a callback to the ASPCA commercials with the sad Sarah McLachlan song that was very prevalent at the time.
They kind of do that joke too when, I forget what TV show it was. I want to say, was it 30 Rock or was it The Simpsons, where they're like, check out this, that's on TV. And every TV show always turns on the TV and it goes right to like what they're supposed to be watching. Whereas like if you turn on a TV, normally it's going to probably be a commercial and not what you're supposed to be showing the person. And the fact that Homer just like stays on that channel for like a good 5 seconds before he changes it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I think it was a Arrested Development joke for sure.
Oh, there's like another, I think, Arrested Development type joke in here that, well, we'll get to it when we get to it, I think. All right. Yeah, so that's right. It's the Springfield Demolition Derby. Have you been to a Derby of Demolition?
No, I've been to a Derby of Hat, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's in our area. That's more county fair stuff. It's every county fair has it. It's where the Demolition Derby is, of course, where people 600 get in for free, and there's no overt racism. But if you can't prove racism, you get a free cola. They have all the Derby greats, such as
Vince Dead Tooth McGee,
James Psychiatric Disorder Porter,
Meth McFarland.
That sounds like Seth MacFarlane. That's a joke. Mysterious Fandango.
And a very drunk Billy Joel.
Is that a reference to Billy Joel being drunk and driving?
Yes.
In his past?
Mm-hmm. All right. And probably his future, too. I don't know. But Marge finds most of these names to be meaningless. But we then see the man from Moe's parking lot making his return to the crash zone after a full skull transplant. Gene No Helmet Dupree, who happens to be driving Homer's car. Homer then adds that they have primo tickets to the destruction event. Bart stops Homer's presentation, sure that Lisa is going to Lisa it up, ruining it somehow, but actually, Lisa is fine with all of this, as it allows people to express their anger, get out their frustration, while also destroying carbon-burning cars. Her simply declaring it a win-win ruins it for Bart.
So the family rides in Marge's station wagon, headed to the Derby as Grampa rambles on about lack of cinnamon on his recent rice pudding. And Homer impatiently vows to get his father some cinnamon, but the Dave responds that he can't tolerate the spice, so he continues with his long-winded story, which causes Homer to raise a glass partition between the front and the back, much like a limousine would have. And Marge asks about the price of the partition installation, so Homer hits another button on the dash, causing another partition, this one separating the driver's seat with the passenger, leaving Homer to sit in wistful quiet. Isn't he like, it just cost pennies to get this together. And Marge's like, how many of our pennies? I like this a little bit. I think all cars should have like ignore shields.
I think so. I think that there should be a passenger powered one in every Uber.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to talk to people, and so I'll just raise a glass. They'll understand. It's not being rude because it's an understanding, and yeah.
Well, there's like some Uber drivers that like have like a little card
Mhm.
display that's like, 1, you say 1, and it's like engage conversation. 2, don't engage conversation. So you're just like, all right, 2, and they're like, cool.
Yeah, and that's instant 5 stars for me.
Well, I would give you 4 stars because there's always room for improvement, like my good friend Hank Hill would say.
That's right. Check out our Patreon where we don't talk about that episode. So they arrive at the Derby grounds where a valet slams Homer's car into Marge's. Meanwhile, Cletus asks his several kids if they enjoyed the movie Cars, adding that all of their favorite characters will be soon committing suicide. The Simpsons then find their seats, passing one stand selling random auto parts that allow you to take home pieces of a loser, and another stand which offers insurance on the drivers, where death pays double.
So over a loud PA system, a very eloquent British man requests the fans silence all cell phones and drivers' holsters all their truck nuts, citing the latest in paleontological theories. The announcer introduces the all-new Truckosaurus 2. The mechanic T-Rex made of car parts is greeted with booze, and trash is thrown at it. It falls to pieces in flames, uttering, "I love you, Steven Spielberg," and it dies. So a large screen that shows in memoriam, celebrating those who lost their lives in the past week, such as
Volkswagen Thug,
the Bashmobile,
the Hertz Dentacar,
Truckosaurus 2,
Napoleon Bonaparte.
and Bobby Bob Hooper, salvage yard owner.
Rest in peace. I like the callback to Truckosaurus way back from, season 1 or 2 with
Yeah.
Lance Murdoch. Nice.
I also like them choosing a British guy doing the demolition derby.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I think that I know that motorsports and other ESPN sports have British announcers for the more fancy European stuff, but I mostly know that from The Simpsons. Like the motor car or the boxcar derby, soap boxcar derby that they did with Martin Prince. Also a British announcer.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't remember that episode because we're not allowed to watch it.
That's true. I heard about it from a friend who heard about a friend who heard that you were messing around. But the announcer's British voice turns southern as it calls for the bash-em-ups to begin. The carnage is underway, and Bart wonders if he can keep any brains that should hit him. And after telling Bart to get that brain signed, Homer sees his car sending another into flames. And as Lisa points out, the vehicle really soars without Homer's fat ass behind the wheel. And it's down to Homer's car and one other contender. And as we'll hear in this clip, the Simpsons are on the edge of their seats.
Oh my God, this is it. Only one car stands in our way.
It's down to Homer's boner and Barack Obama, the affordable health care mobile, which you can't kill no matter how hard you try.
My whole life has been leading to this one moment. Oh, my chest hurts. That's called pride. My arm is numb with pride. Son, I need to go to the hospital. Sure, Dad.
Timely with the Affordable Hair Care Act. Help Care Act.
Yeah, why don't we have an Affordable Hair Care Act? That's something I could vote for.
I voted against it.
But I thought you wanted hair.
Yeah, but if I can't have it, then nobody can. Which is why I also don't want student loans paid off.
What about medical bills? Should we have universal health care?
God, no. Why would we do that? That just makes sense. Not a political podcast.
Well, Homer walks Abe out of the stadium, missing the moment when his own car flies midair, crashing into Barack Obama's Affordable Health Mobile. So father and son walk out of the stands, hearing a giant explosion behind them, and an errant hubcap rolls around Homer's feet, but Grandpa shoos it away, knowing that the pain it's causing his son.
Ooh, well, at the Springfield General Hospital, Dr. Hibbert solemnly informs Homer that things don't look good, and that Abe would like to speak to him one last time. Julius then tells Marge that he hopes that she kept the receipt for her Get Well balloon, but of course Marge always does.
Lying weakly in the hospital bed, Abe says he has something very important to tell Homer, and Dr. Hibbert offers him a moment in the semi-private room, raising a glass of partition, which drowns out the complaints of an old Jewish man who's sitting in the next bed. So there's another partition glass. So here, Grandpa then shares a secret with Homer. Let's hear what he says.
Son, I did a terrible thing many years ago, and I need you to forgive me before it's too late. Oh, anything, Dad? Uh-huh. You already said that part. Remember, you can't tell anyone. It's awful. I swear. Now get to the point. You didn't! Okay. I forgive you. Your conscience is the one clean thing in this room.
Well, we tried everything we could. And the last thing worked.
How did you save him?
When a body is in too much pain, the brain releases a hormone to bring a merciful death. But an expensive new drug blocks that and keeps him alive.
What a glorious day! I'm gonna live!
Yeah, when Dr. Hibbert's like, we've tried everything we can and the last thing worked. That reminds me of that doctor from Arrested Development that would always come in with say the wrong things when he's meaning it's right.
He's gonna be all right, meaning he lost use of his left hand. UCB co-founder Ian Roberts playing that role.
You'll see him in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I was almost going to enhance the audio to see if they actually said what Abe said, but I think it's still like the, not really saying anything. Which, was the Simpsons do that joke where like they're whispering and then it's like, Yeah, everything you just said was gibberish. I couldn't hear it. I understand anything you said.
Yeah.
Was that from a Simpsons?
I think so, yeah. He's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I almost thought that joke was coming, but of course we've already seen that.
It's true.
I think you could repeat that joke. We talk about joke gels. I think there's like some jokes that, if it's in the right context, you could do it again.
I agree, and I think that one works.
Yeah.
Abe is excited. He's going to live, and his son has forgiven him for the worst thing he's ever done. Homer stifles his anger regarding Abe's confession, crushing a nearby box of hospital cotton balls. But a nurse informs Homer that those cotton balls will cost him $75,000.
Because the healthcare system.
It's stupid.
I sure hope the new Scrubs reboot will tackle that issue that we face.
I'm sure, because we've all been waiting for that with bated breath.
So back at the comfort of 742 Evergreen Terrace, Abe puts up his feet and watches his favorite new show, which is currently in its 17th season. The opening credits to NCIS are shown, with various people in blue coats cocking their guns. More people have guns, including the judge and her bench, and then it begins to rain guns. One pistol shot, which emits a smaller pistol soaring through the air.
It's the lesser CSI NCIS because, you got to focus on naval crimes.
They're not related, though, right? I think it started off as JAG and then became NCIS. Are the NCIS still a thing?
Yes, they are. They have 23 seasons of NCIS, but I think they are no longer on the air.
Yeah, I hope so, because like...
Oh, no, it's coming back on October 14th, 2005.
Okay.
2025, rather.
I just, if you are, you served our military, thank you for that. But like, seriously, if you're in the Navy, chances are you're going to be committing a crime. So there's so many crimes in the Navy now.
That's true, yeah.
Because of the show. I never watched the show. This is dad TV.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, my parents loved this show.
Like, I believe JAG, wasn't it created by Donald P. Belisario, the man who brought us Magnum and Magnum PI and Quantum Leap? I think this was, like, JAG was, like, his show after Quantum Leap, I believe.
I think so. And
yeah.
And then, NCIS was, like, a spin-off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the spin-off was, like, so JAG premiered in 2003.
Oh, really? I thought it was in the 90s.
I'm sorry. There was a two-part TV movie of JAG in April 2023, which is a backdoor pilot to NCIS, which premiered...
Wait, what year? 2023?
2003, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes.
For some reason I thought JAG came out in the 90s.
I think you're right. No, I think JAG did, but in 2003 there was a TV movie that was a backdoor pilot that became NCIS.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right. This was a show that definitely your dad watched, right?
100%. It was like appointment television for both my mom and my dad. Because they're also fans of Magnum PI. Not so much Quantum Leap, but when the episode begins proper, the Naval Crime Investigation Services discover yet another murder at the Jackson Island Naval Base. Abe declares the prompt investigation of in-house naval crimes to be what makes this country great. Again.
So when Homer enters the living room, Marge points out that his father is there, and Homer responds coldly, leading Ned to pop his head in and ask if Homer is a Sunday crossword puzzle, since he appears to be down and across. Homer tells his neighbor that Abe did something that he can't ever forget. So Ned reminds Homer of what God did to his own son, and they even collaborated on a book together. I think this whole scene with Ned was very funny. Wordplay.
Yeah. I like the crossword reference. But Homer feels betrayed, saying that Abe tricked him with his code blue and flatlining. Homer may feel like a sap, but he promised never to say what his father told him. This has changed Homer's perception of Abe forever, despite his forgiveness. Not wanting to share a room with Abe, Homer says that he's going to Moe's. But when Abe states that he's also going to Moe's, Homer decides to stay at home. But then, after a few moments with NCIS, he thinks that maybe a trip to Moe's isn't such a bad idea.
A gun and a sailor hat. Nothing screams naval crime more than that.
I'm going to Moe's.
I hate seeing a father and a son sit at opposite ends of the bar. 'Cause it means I gotta walk more. Now come on, yous guys. Bury the old hatchet. Hey, life is short. You could be killed by a drunk driver, die of cirrhosis, stabbed in a bar fight. All kinds of random bad things happen to my customers. Hey, look, here's 50 cents, huh? Play the jukebox and a love tester.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road.
You heard Ray Charles.
Actually, in my jukebox, we can't afford no Ray Charles. It's a white guy named Charles Ray. Excellent vision.
Wasn't Charles Ray the name of Chucky, the homicidal doll, child's play?
It's funny because when you were about to say wasn't Charles Ray, I was like, wasn't that a serial killer? And it wasn't a real serial killer, it was Charles Ray, who became Chucky. Also an American sculptor.
Great vision. Excellent vision.
Very funny. Also, I like Abe getting coins for the love tester because it calls back to the spinoff show.
Right. And was that Dan Harmon's voice in the beginning as Mark Harmon?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Mark Harmon, I mean, NCIS, yeah. A gun and a sailor hat. Nothing screams naval crime more than that.
It's very true.
And, they're making fun of themselves, and that's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
I also like all the options of leaving Moe's. Like, when he gives a list of, died by drunk driving. Yeah.
He's a bartender. That's all he knows for crime and death is bar-related things.
So the family then heads to a place that Lisa feels will cure all of Abe and Homer's animosity. She was last there for Janie's birthday, but Abe is unsure about his problems being solved at a kid's birthday party place. So as Marge points out, it's cheaper than therapy and comes with cake. Abe responds that if cake solved problems, Homer would have a Nobel Peace Prize. As Homer correctly notes, it's a bullcrap prize which they give to Kissinger and soon our 47th president.
That's true.
I kind of like this episode now thinking about it. Just throw shade at the healthcare system of this country.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Marge is saying, this is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, and it is kind of funny how I don't until you mentioned how often they bring up healthcare in this episode because they talked about the Barack Healthmobile, the $75,000 box of cotton balls. It's a sad country that we lived in then, but luckily it's gotten better now. The family then arrive at the escape zone where families have fun getting out of medieval prisons. A sign informs customers that this fad will die in 27 days. Remember the good old days of escape rooms? I always meant to go to one, and I never really did, but it seemed like fun.
I think they did an escape room on The Simpsons, in the future, didn't they?
They did.
A more recent one.
Yeah, in the past couple of seasons, I remember talking about it.
And yeah, because I remember discussing that, I've been to one, and it was not a pleasant experience because there's two people that were just hoarding everything. And so I'm just standing there doing nothing. Can't contribute because they're just too into their own shit.
Which I assume is probably the way it normally works. So yeah. Inside, the Simpsons are greeted by a squeaky voiced teen who says the escape zone is the latest attempt to save a dying mall. Again, very prescient. There are all sorts of themed escape rooms such as the Mummy's Tomb, Intergalactic Zoo, Leaving Dodger Stadium, Madman's Basement, Zombie Titanic, and the one that Homer and Abe opt for, Medieval Dungeon.
Which one do you want?
Oh, definitely Intergalactic Zoo. I want to see space aliens, and I want them to attack me. What about you?
And that's where, Superman wants to put kaijus in there, but no, the Justice Gang has to kill a kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
I'm referencing the Superman movie because he says he wanted to put it in a galactic zoo. Okay, Zombie Titanic is not what you think. It's just the band Cranberries singing that song over and over again. while you sink. But I think you're right. Intergalactic Zoo. Leaving Dodger Stadium is not, no good. Like, I'm assuming that means like leaving Dodger Stadium after the game, like the traffic. No, don't want to deal with that. Well, in order to escape, Homer and Abe need to solve 10 puzzles together. And outside the locked room, Bart, Maggie, and Lisa watch on a closed-circuit camera. Watching them just sit there. So Marge arrives carrying balloons that say, "You've reconciled," and speaking terms. She feels that the men would hurry if they knew about the helium-filled Mylar.
Well, in the dungeon, Abe offers Homer a sword, saying that if he sticks it in a nearby magical portal, it may just open up a bookcase somewhere. And thinking that his father's logic is sound, Homer obeys. But that magical portal was actually a plug, and sticking the sword in it sent shock of electricity into Homer's body. As Homer smolders with smoke, Abe laughs.
So they drop off Grampa at the retirement castle, but Homer wishes to stay in the car, and Abe mocks his son, saying that he wants to stay inside the auto because he's afraid of showing how much the car will lift when he exits. And then Homer does get out, and the car does lift a bit, but Homer decides that the only way the rest of the family will understand is by sharing what Grandpa said on his supposed deathbed. And Abe is offended, saying that in this family, we keep our promises, starting now.
So all of this conflict stresses Lisa out. So as she hyperventilates, Bart tells her to simply leave her body. And she does, but her bliss is cut short when Bart slaps her face, sending her back to reality. And Lisa pushes Bart over, and then Homer shares his secret.
When I was growing up, my dad loved to make model World War II airplanes. Watch it, son. You're gonna break the wing. Oh, now you got glue up your nose. Oh, don't eat the decal. How many have you had? Yeah? Just leave me be. I work hard all week at the model plane factory, and this hobby is my one escape. Can you please watch this little monster? When he gave me to her, it was the best thing he could have done.
This is the dough.
Dough?
Yes, dough. Now, I need someone very strong to roll this out.
It's Glenn Close reprising her role as Mona Simpson.
Do you think when she records her lines and she's too far away from the microphone, they're like, Glenn,
come nearer.
Huh?
Come nearer.
Give me a cinnamon.
Get less further away.
One word.
Togetherness, but uniting.
Starts with the letter C.
Kira Sedgwick in that TNT show.
A Mike Nichols film? A Patrick Marbear play?
That's what our podcast doesn't have enough of. Patrick Marbear references.
Well, starting now, Steve, this is only for our Patreons, of course.
Of course. I really like Abe being so stressed out from his work at the airplane factory that his only relief is making model airplanes. Very funny stuff.
But I'm already pissed this episode. That's not his job.
It's true.
He should be the manager of a laser tag factory or store, whatever it is.
That's right. Or a farmer or something.
So, as a young Homer sings a parody of memories entitled Recipes, we see a series of 3x5 cards full of recipes for various desserts, including an apple pie recipe that was created by Evan Kleinman, host of a radio show Good Food of KCRW in LA. So Homer learns a variety of baking techniques and leaves a pie to cool on the windowsill, but then little Lanny and Carl try to swipe the pie, but LMS, Little Mo Sizzlack, is there on the scene, pimply faced and wielding a slingshot ready to defend the sweet pie of Mona Simpson. Hey, so there's nice. We had the little versions of these characters in the last couple episodes, so it's fun that the Wheel of Random found this for us.
Yeah, and Evan Kleisman, she's a friend of Richard Sakura, who was a producer on The Simpsons, and they thought that James L. Brooks actually thought that it'd be nice to add a real pie recipe to this, kind of like we did earlier in the year with the episode for that soup by that other cook, Kenji Lopez.
Should we tell our listeners how to make the pie? I think we should.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, here's what you need. Mix these in a bowl together. Got 3 cups of flour. But weigh the flour before you measure 3 cups. You always want to weigh it this
Yeah, use by weight.
Yeah. A teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I bet Abe doesn't like this pie because it has cinnamon in it. And then for the apples, you're going to need 3 Golden Delicious apples, 3 Granny Smith or Pippin apples, and the 3 others except Macintosh. Sorry, Macintosh. I know you're Apple, but not in this. So don't put 3 iPhones in here is what I'm trying to say.
No, just have to be Androids.
And then the instructions go like this. Cut a pound of cold butter into 16 pieces. Toss all flour to coat. Rub butter into the flour mixture with your fingertips or pastry cutter. When the mixture looks like coarse crumbs of different sizes from peas to almonds, it's ready to use.
Add 1 tablespoon of vinegar to 1 cup ice-cold water and drizzle on the butter flour mixture. Toss like a salad. Bring the dough together, kneading it twice into a packed flat ball, and then cut it in half. Shape each half into a disc, wrap with wax paper, and refrigerate for an hour or overnight.
This is the dough.
Dough.
So now prepare the apples, peel the apples, and cut the flesh off the cores. Cut the apples into thin slices, put in a bowl, add half a cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of flour. Sprinkle in the cinnamon, and toss to coat the apple slices.
Then you roll 1 piece of that dough out to pit a 9-inch glass pie plate. And then you put the apples in the pan. Roll out the second piece of dough to pit over the apples. Roll it over the apples, place on top, and pinch the top and bottom crust together so you don't have an edge.
Then crimp the edge to make holes in the top crust with a fork, and then brush it with butter.
So then you bake it in a preheated oven for 375 for about 40 minutes, and then turn the heat down to 350 and bake for another 20 minutes, or until the apples are tender when poked with a fork.
That's how we know when Steve's ready to fork. Steve, we're going to make this pie recipe.
I will do it right now.
All right.
Here you go.
It's gross. Get it away from me. Now, this looks like, your typical pie recipe. I'm not sure what's so innovative about it.
I think probably just the apple selection, but yeah, other than that, it seems like pretty standard fare.
Yeah, maybe the acid from the... See, I would use... that tablespoon of vinegar, but I would use lemon juice, but the same thing. It's an acid. Still probably better than like any pie you can get at like a grocery store frozen section.
Yeah, I do like a fresh baked apple pie. It's good.
Yeah. It's interesting that there's Golden Delicious. Usually you do the Granny Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just so many other apples, like all those like sciencey apples now. The ones that they like make in a lab.
Right.
You get like cum flavored ones.
Right. The Gala, the Jazz, Adams.
The Chris Martin daughter. All right. Well, I'll make it, Steve, and let you know. It is apple pie season after all.
It is. 'Tis the season. So young Homer cheerfully takes a bite of that pie while telling his mother that he loves her. Meanwhile, Abe sits in the next room all alone, sucking on sour balls. A modern-day Homer narrates that for each pie Mona made, she not only wrote the recipe, but also jotted a special note on the back. And he goes on to share how much those recipes meant to him, and then what happened to them.
We don't know what life will bring, so on your birthday, or any day you need it, you'll know that your mother loved you and have reasons to love yourself.
You just taught me food is love. I like myself. That lunchbox was the most valuable possession I ever had. When she left, those recipes were all I had left of her. And that's the end. What a sweet story. And there's some things that shouldn't be gone into until a man is dead and can't be kicked. After she ran away, my father was furious and did something terrible. He threw my recipes off a cliff. Everything that reminded him of her. He lied to me. He told me she took the recipes with her when she left. Are you sure, Daddy? Yes. Don't ask me again till I'm on my deathbed.
Real jerk move by Abe.
He had his reasons, Steve.
Fair enough. You make a good point.
So hearing the truth that the family glares at Abe angrily, Lisa suggests that if Homer had those notes, his life may have been entirely different. Why, he would have had confidence. He would have had his mother with him. And maybe Homer thinks he might have had his hair, but Marge points out that him having hair isn't very realistic, leading Homer to say that he would have been more realistic if only he had those recipes.
At the dinner table, everyone shares their disgust at Grandpa's thoughtlessness. Marge notes that his slippers no longer have bottoms on them, and Lisa calls him a real C-word, a coot. Among all this negativity, Homer smiles, which confuses Marge. He takes the kids by the hands, proudly stating that if they're all hating together as a family, they agree to go to the retirement home to yell at Abe, but not before Homer does his best Jim Croce impression, singing hate rather than time in a bottle.
Wow, we've had 2 Homer singing parody songs of popular songs.
It's true.
It's a very musical episode.
Mm-hmm.
The family arrives at the retirement castle ready to give Grampa a piece of their collective mind. And Bart complains about the way he always calls him buddy or fella, while Lisa reminds everyone of Abe's poor hearing. This leads Homer and Marge to yell, "Lousy Grandpa," and so heartless. And Lisa adds, "What you did was crap, Grandpa." And they all argue you get to yell at him first, but Lisa offers another form of emotional punishment.
Hey, has anyone considered the silent treatment?
The silent treatment doesn't work. It doesn't work! It does not work! Oh, okay, fine, it works. It works so well. Please say something! Oh! How long has it been? 3 months? I don't even remember a time before this!
Where's Grandpa? He hasn't touched his lunch.
Or his lunch meds.
My beloved family. Oh, boy.
I've learned an important lesson. Never get things off your chest. Which reminds me of a gal named Chesty Lazar. She ran a speakeasy on Hawaii right before Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was the name of the lady who bought the joint.
Digression, crazy talk. Here's the end.
The point is, confessing don't really make you feel better. 'Cause it don't redo the bad thing you did. So I'm gonna undo what I done if it's the last thing I do.
Now, Craig, what do you think about the effectiveness of the silent treatment? Oh, of course. I'm going to say that it doesn't work. I'm not saying anything, I guess. Fine.
Sorry, my mic was on mute. Steve, do you think the silent treatment works? Hello?
Yes, I do. I think it works very well. Sorry, I was distracted.
Is bit over?
Bit's over.
Okay, thank you.
I like the Chesty Lazar.
Right, in Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, very funny.
It's like the old when Homer tries to rename Marge because of her bosom buddies.
Yes, Chesty LaRue.
Chesty is a great name for a person. So, with the help of his binoculars, Abe arrives in the Springfield Forest in the hopes of finding the recipes which he threw off a cliff. Hearing this, Homer vows to find Abe, save him, and tell him that he can't wait until he dies.
Homer runs to the cliff just as Abe is about to descend, with one end of a rope tied around his waist while the other is tied to a tree stump. So Homer begs his father not to go, as most is forgiven. But Abe is resolute. But so is Homer, joining him as they both hang off the cliff, both tied to a rope. And Abe asks Homer what his rope is tied to, and then they both discover that they're actually tied to each other.
Did Homer and Abe live in a cabin in the woods before the farm, or is this supposed to be the farm too?
I think it's the farm, which happens to be over a cliff, which is probably not good for farming, which is probably why they're so unsuccessful.
All right. So the two men fall, but are saved when their shared rope is caught on a branch, and Homer looks down and sees the lunchbox full of recipes, just out of reach. It's very much like the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, right? When Indiana Jones was trying to grab the grail. All right. Well, Marge, Lisa, and Bart run to the edge of the cliff, each saying, "Please be okay." Then thought bubbles revealed just to see what their hope is safe, and Marge thinks of Homer, Lisa thinks of Grampa, and Bart thinks of the branch that they're hanging on.
Very funny. So Homer tries to swing towards the lunchbox, but it's no use. Abe then climbs up, thereby lowering Homer. He's closer than ever, but the recipes are still just out of reach. Abe then offers to cut his rope, sacrificing his own life for his son's peace of mind. And later, Abe, Homer, and the rest of the family stop at the Timberlog Diner, where the tables are wiped hourly.
Don't worry, son. This will give you all the rope you need. Dad, no! I love you! Mom left, but you were there. Cranky, a little drunk, sometimes not there, but you were always there. Oh, you love me. That's all I need to hear. Good thing I also threw out your mother's bed when she left. I can still smell her perfume. And I've got the recipes back. Huh? Oh, they're gone, just like Mom. I'm sorry, son. It's okay, Dad. Life doesn't always give you neat endings that tie everything up in a bow.
This pie is fantastic.
It's what I imagine eating great jazz would be like.
Always with the jazz.
It tastes exactly like my mom used to make.
It's kind of like an ongoing joke, but Marge's like distaste for Lisa's love of jazz is always funny to me.
It is funny to me, too, and I'm glad that they're not in the Star Wars world, because that would have been a very different sentence.
Jizz, Steve, jizz. You could say it. We're not afraid to say cum or jizz on this podcast.
Nope, we're brave like that. We're the one podcast.
I do like how the dumb ending this is. That like, we'll get to it, but like also the fact that they were just like a foot away from the ground. Did Abe not see that the mattress is there? And you just hop down and you're on the ground.
Yeah, and they could have just reached up and grabbed the lunchbox.
Wow. Well, Homer calls over to the server, who politely asking how the hell she got the recipe, and the elderly waitress says it was actually a miracle 33 years ago. The diner was failing, possibly because it's located under a cliff. So the server stepped outside to think about her fate when the recipe fell from the heavens. Then another and another.
The server had never seen such magical fruit combinations and such beautiful messages on the back. And in tears, Homer says that those messages were intended for him. And then the server gives it to him, all tied up neatly in a bow. Good callback. Homer looks at one of the messages from his mother that reads, "Homer, I love you because your father is a mean SOB." And Abe asks what the card says, and Homer thinks quickly, stammering, it says that your father is an okay guy. Grandpa thanks Homer for telling him, and Homer thanks him for buying it. And they laugh and share a hug.
So later, Homer walks through a used car lot where the dealer tells him that there's really only one car he can afford. And Homer gasps when he finds this old car beaten up and being sold for $99. So he hugs the pink vehicle, pulling out Snowball too, realizing that's where she was last seen. And that's how the episode ends. I like how, I think in other Simpsons episodes, they would just end it at the Homer and Grampa hugging and not worrying about the car. But for stupid internet fans like us, or Simpsons fans, the internet would be like, oh, what about Homer's car? Is he ever going to get it back? And the fact that he got it back, I think that's good. So did he do anything with the $500 that he got for it?
No, but it's still $400 now, or $401, because he got the car back for $99.
That's what I meant, the $500. So I'm subtracting the $100. So he made like a $400 profit, essentially. So
yeah, so it's kind of a win-win for Homer.
But it's probably that $400 has to go to the car to get it fixed up and straightened out.
That's true. And it'll end up costing more like $2,000.
He'll have to sell like Bart's kidney to get it fixed.
Mm-hmm. Or just eat a lot more eggs on bets.
There you go. See, that's how it works. All right, we figured it out.
All right. Well, let's take a break, eat some eggs ourselves, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Let's finish up our discussion of Forgive and Regret. We'll talk about the episode, what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, and maybe even a most valuable jokester. And we'll find out what we're watching next week. But before we do all of that, we here on the 138 Simpsons podcast like to give each other gifts from the episode to kind of highlight something that we think our co-host might appreciate. And this week, no difference. So, Craig, for you, I got you some model airplane glue that you can sniff or use to make model airplanes. I got you a pistol and a sailor's hat so you can recreate all of your favorite naval-based crimes, and a jar of pickled eggs so you can win all the bets that you want.
Can I eat them too?
If you want, yeah.
Can I eat everything you just gave me?
Yes. Don't eat the sailor's hat, though, because you might choke on it.
All right. Well, Steve, I got you a really big gift.
Ooh.
It's called Homer's Boner.
Oh. Can I eat that?
Well, you could try it. After the episode ended, I went over to Homer and said, I would like to buy your boner for $100. So he made $1 profit off that 99. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So you got Homer's Boner, which is their car. And I thought you deserve a vacation, so You get to go hang out at the club known as Chesty LaRue's, formerly Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
And your gifts wouldn't be complete without a mattress I found at the bottom of a cliff.
Ooh. Still smells like your mother.
No, not mine, but
somebody's mother. Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. What did you think of this episode?
Am I do my review or should I give you my...
Maybe you give me a jokester first.
Oh, okay. Look, I said in the podcast, I think Ned's scene was one of my favorites, just when he's talking about the crosswords and then referencing Jesus and God, father and son writing a book together. I think it's hilarious. Mo actually, stealing the pie from the past is great. And then him talking about all the way people die from his bar.
Mm-hmm.
I like the scene where they're at the very end when they're hoping that everyone's okay, and Marge is hoping that the thought bubble it's Homer, and Lisa it's Abe, and of course Bart for some reason it's Tree Branch. And the silly joke of like, this isn't going to wrap up. This episode's not going to wrap up in a nice bow. In fact, it does. Like, it's such a silly way to end the episode, and I think that worked. And then Cletus telling the kids that you get to see the cars commit suicide. So those are some of my favorite scenes. How about you?
Yeah, I like all those things that you talked about. I like Marge with her balloons that she gets a refund on. I like Lisa in this episode. I like the fact that, one, she's not bothered by the concept of derbies because they serve a purpose. And also, I just really like the way that everybody gets mad at Grandpa and that their shared hatred is what unites them. I think that's very sweet in a sad way. I also like just the image of Abe sitting in the dark eating sour balls while his wife and son share a lovely moment making sweets. Like, it's a very nice symbolism. And also all the gun stuff from NCIS is fun. The bullet shooting a smaller gun, always funny to me. So yeah, I think my jokester will be Lisa, but there's a lot of fun ones there.
Now my thoughts.
Now your thoughts.
Yeah, I think everything in this episode, there is a lot of just silliness, and I don't think it has kind of the heart like the episode where they make when I'm talking about like heart, like the Homer and Abe episodes, like especially the Love Tonic one.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's kind of, in a way, very reminiscent of that episode. Yeah, I mean, what Abe did was pretty heinous. I think it's because it's, you're taking away memories from Homer because, his whole life he's always just thought his mom just never cared. And we've seen in the past that, of course, she did. And this is just like one extra thing that, I mean, they even make mention of it in the episode. I do like that moment, though, when Homer's like, I understand, on the rope, I understand. Like, yeah, she may have left and still loved me, but you were the one that actually was there. So there's some sweet sentiment in this episode. So, also they throw in the Sarah McLachlan dog, so that adds extra sentiment.
Sure.
But it's weird. It's like, I enjoyed it, but I don't know if it's like one that like I need to go back to. I think it's right in the middle. And like I said, I did like, the wrapped up in the bow. And I like how there's a pie recipe. I like how there's a lot of like song parodies. I think it's a perfectly cromulent episode. I'm not, going to say it's the greatest. I'm not going to say it's a horrible episode. It doesn't ruin canon for me. I mean, I guess I will watch it again, but it could be one of those episodes that I might forget a lot about. So maybe that's a good thing. If I had to give this a ranking, Steve, as of 2024, the world's biggest pie was baked in Traverse City, Michigan.
Of course.
And that pie weighed 28,350 pounds.
Whoa.
17 feet by 6 inches in diameter. It was a cherry pie, so, everyone in that town had diarrhea after they ate it.
Of course.
So if I had to give this a rank out of 28,350 pounds, I'm going to give this, let's go with 17,420 pounds.
That's fair.
How about you?
Yeah, I think that this episode is perfectly okay. I think that Abe was a real shithead in this episode, but also he is, hurt by Mona, so I guess it's kind of forgivable. But yeah, I feel like in general, when we have Grandpa and Homer episodes, or if we have Mona and Homer episodes, or we have Destruction Derby episodes, they usually have more emotional heart. And this one tried at it, but it felt a little cheap. But they're doing it for the joke, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But this episode is kind of like an apple pie for me. It's good, but it's not my favorite. If it's served to me, I'll be like, yeah, okay. But also, I don't really ever crave it, so it's fine. I think there are sweet moments. I like the idea of the recipe, and I like the fact that Mona went to the trouble of writing the notes. I like that they made their peace. I like the takedown of the American healthcare system, which has only gotten worse since then. But ultimately, this is an okay episode. It's a medium episode to me. So if I had to give it a numerical ranking, they talked about Gunsmoke the Simpsons surpassing Gunsmoke in the number of episodes. And another show that has a lot of episodes happens to be NCIS, which as of this date has 488 episodes. So out of 488, I'm going to give this a 279, which of course is season 15, episode 11, High Tide, in which Torres and Bishop go undercover as criminal couple for hiring a sting operation. So that's one of my favorite episodes of NCIS, and so you should check it out. And listeners, we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and you'll check us out next week when we watch yet another episode. But we don't know what that episode is, so in order to find that out, we're going to need our old friend who is quiet and not allowed on microphone, but is still effective. That's right, it's the Wheel of Random.
Oh boy.
Let's give it a spin to see which season we're in. Ba-doop. Alrighty, we have season 22.
Season 22.
Okay, let's give it another spin to see which episode we're watching. Ba-doop. All right, season 22, episode 20.
2220.
That's right. Craig, what do you think that episode is entitled?
I think it's going to be called Lisa and Abe's Bogus Journey.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. Maybe a cameo from Death, but sadly that is not the title. In fact, I will give you the title. It is Homer Scissorhands.
Oh, man.
What do you think that episode's about?
Homer is like some gothic kid with scissor hands. Steve, can I admit something?
Sure.
I don't think I've seen Edward Scissorhands.
Well, that's so silly because you know what? I don't think I have either.
What, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I've seen it like on TV and I can like imagine it, but I don't know exactly what happens.
I think it's one of those it's like been on and like I'll watch a scene and I know references, but I don't think I've like sat down and watched it.
It feels like something that was on a cable on like a Saturday afternoon and you're like, yeah, okay. And then you like fell asleep or something.
It's probably because like I'm not like I don't know. I like Tim Burton, but here's what it's about. I'm gonna say it's kind of like a Frankenstein, right? So we say a scientist, Mr. Burns, builds an animated human being, the gentle Homer Scissorhands. But Mr. Burns dies before he can finish assembling Homer, though leaving Homer with a freakish appearance, accentuated by the scissor blades he has instead of hands. A loving suburban salesman played Homer. I mean Marge discovers Homer and takes him home, where he falls for Marge's teen daughter. Wait a minute, Lisa. However, despite his kindness and artistic talent, Homer's hands make him an outcast. Am I right?
I mean, you're kind of close, kind of, no? So Homer suddenly becomes a hairstylist after he beautifully cuts Patty's hair. Meanwhile, Milhouse falls in love with a fifth grader after Lisa breaks up with him.
How are we doing this? I thought next up is the summer of Milhouse and his love life.
It's going to be a long summer.
He's got so many girlfriends in The Simpsons, right?
That's right. And this one we get Kristen Schaal, guest starring, star of Bob's Burgers.
Will she be playing Patty's hair or maybe Milhouse's girlfriend?
Maybe both.
All right.
Maybe Lisa's hair. Weird cameo. Well, we'll find out next week, and we hope that you find out as well by listening to us. Thank you for listening to us this week. And hey, if you want to reach out to us, we really would love to hear from you. You can email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com, probably the best. But you can also contact us on the socials, like your Instagram, your Threads, or your YouTube at 138simpsons.
And don't forget to go to your podcasting app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a 5-star review or whatever the equivalent is. But you don't have to write a real review. No, just tell us about how your father fucked you over. with your mom.
I'm glad you said over. And hey, you can go to tpublic.com/users/annoyedgruntboys and get yourself some great 138 Simpsons swag. We've got t-shirts. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. Just check it out.
And if you haven't already, which we know you haven't already, but sign up for our patreon.com/annoyedgruntboys. I guess it's patreon.com/ maybe some people are putting the wrong / in. Annoyed Gruntboys. It's just $5 a month. Steve, we have like 4 episodes of Eye Off Springfield. We got like 5 movie reviews already right there. You have a plethora of bonus content that will soothe your ear holes and make you laugh and tell you, hopefully, laugh more.
Yes, and there's more coming all the time. Both laughter and episodes and tears and cum and all the fun stuff. So check it out. All right, for this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And remember, are you a Sunday puzzle? 'Cause you look down and across.
Food is love.
A gun and a sailor hat. Nothing screams naval crime more than that.